Hey, how we doing, guys?
Morning, everybody.
So, Mad Men,
Yeah,
whew, we are seeing a darker Don Draper, aren't we?
yeah. I really love that last episode, in that we really
Me too.
kind of got into a new chapter for him
Yeah,
because we got to the point where he needs a crutch, and we lose Anna, who
yeah,
was his only crutch. And she straight says to him, to really twist the knife, I know who you are. I know
yeah,
everything about you, and I love you anyway. It's like, great. You're the only person in the world, and Don knows you're about to go,
yeah.
which is terrible. I mean, obviously, it's more tragic for her,
I just,
but our story is Don's story.
just really, I don't know if they intended this, but Anna is his crutch, right?
Oh, for sure.
Is it purposeful they had her on crutches the last episode?
Oh, I don't know.
That's
It's
kind of on the
possible. Yeah,
nose, you know what I mean?
it's pretty on the nose for this show.
I
They
just,
usually don't go that on the
I
nose.
just realized that. Anyways,
Right.
no, a lot of you guys on Patreon have been talking about how that last episode was your favorite episode of
I
the whole
get it. I
series.
totally get it.
Totally understand why.
It's Don is definitely, for the first time, for really
Hmm.
in his Dark Night of the Soul, for the most part.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
he's in runaway mode,
yeah,
right? And he doesn't get what he needs from running away, so he
yeah.
just goes back to work.
Somebody pointed out too. That last episode really um, externalized how what men use as coping mechanisms
Yeah, because we
with
saw
Lane.
with Lane too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
food,
exactly.
alcohol, women. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like I said at the top of the episode, a darker Don Draper. We've
right.
never seen Don this low, this awful. I
Yeah.
guess he
No,
was
I
nice enough to
agree.
Lane, but at the same time, it doesn't feel good. He feels gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, no. He definitely
He tried
was
to come
like,
on to his essentially his niece in the last episode.
for the most part, yeah, that
Like
was really
it
gross.
was really bad.
But I thought it was a really nice choice, not only to have Dawn going down the drain,
Hmm.
but to teach Lane this is how you go down the drain right.
This is
You
what
know, like,
men do.
oh, so things are gross in your life right now. Well, let me show you how I deal with all the horror, and all the terrible things I do, and put myself through, and the ways I punish myself.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Dawn, no, don't bring
Look,
someone else into your misery.
minus the escorts,
Right.
it looked like a pretty fun night.
For sure. Right. Yeah.
But still, it's not a healthy way. That wasn't a healthy hangout session. That was we're both divorced. Let's feel bad for ourselves
For sure.
and hit New York City up, And
Well, yeah, there was no, I, there's no excusing. I mean, don't get me wrong, Lane's an adult and can make his own choices.
sure, yeah,
But at the same time, Don really did pressure me, like, you know what you do, man? Get drunk, go out and cheat on your wife and throw some money around. That's what you do.
yeah,
And he did all of that. And again, Lane's a big boy,
yeah.
right? He can make his own
It should have
decision.
ended after dinner, right?
Right.
Yeah,
But Dawn didn't help. Dawn was a big catalyst for Lane taking some steps that Lane probably shouldn't have taken. So I think we can agree that Lane shouldn't have taken.
Oh, and
His marriage sucks, but that doesn't mean, well, if your marriage sucks, you might as well go out and hook
Lane's
up with someone else.
headed for a divorce. Is he not getting a divorce?
Lane's heading for a divorce.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I wasn't sure if they
I think that's
made it
stage one.
explicit that he was getting a divorce or not.
I love the fact that we got more Lane than we've gotten before in the last
He's
episode.
great.
He's a great character.
Him
He's obviously
stand out.
performed exceptionally well.
But Jared Harris, yeah.
Jared Harris is a talented
Got a
man.
big Texas belt buckle.
It was great. So I'm glad we're getting more of him, but I think we're going to get more of him, not as the angel on Don's shoulder,
Hmm.
but as a mirror of Don going down the toilet too.
We really haven't seen Betty that much at all this season.
We haven't.
We've seen her a couple of times.
I'm kind of disappointed in that, because as much as we bag on Betty, I really like January Jones's performance, and I do want to know. I thought as they split up,
Yeah.
we were honestly gonna get more of a, here's how women who are off on their own having kids, or not off on her own, obviously,
With Henry, yeah.
right? But how she's got to cope with the fact that her marriage is over, and here's how Dawn copes. We're
It
gonna get a
really
little
is
mirroring
one-sided.
of that, and it's completely one sided,
Yeah.
right? We're just seeing Dawn, and again, obviously, Mad Men is Dawn's show,
Yeah.
right? So I get it, but we can see enough of the ensemble that I thought we'd get more of Betty.
Yeah, it's a rich supporting cast.
Very much so.
We haven't seen a whole lot of Pete either.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in
It's
that.
really been focused up on Don.
Yeah, Pete's really grown on me over the years, and I do want to see more Pete.
Now, this is episode 4, so
Right.
that could change.
Sure.
But at the same time, ending the last season the way you ended it, I figured we would see more Betty, because it's an interesting position she's in. She's at a dilemma. Is she
Right.
going to sell the house? Is she happy in her new marriage? You know what I mean? And
Yeah, right.
also, like, when we do see flashbacks to home, it's with the kids.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it really is. I think we've seen more Glenn than Betty this season.
honestly, yeah.
We've seen more
Glenn
Glenn
Sally.
Bishop than we've seen Betty. It's not Betty Draper anymore.
What is Henry's last name? Oh my
I
god.
don't know. I don't know if
I can't remember.
they may have said it, but yeah, because he's been introduced.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. That's who Betty is. But I do think they're going to sell the house. I think Glenn probably saw to that. By having his friends come in and trash the place.
Sweet Glenn.
Right. But yeah, all we've gotten of Betty is her refusal to move forward.
Yeah.
Which is important, you know. Obviously, she's not as detestable as Dawn is right now, but it's still like, come on, Betty.
It's time to move on.
Talk to your own kids. Even your daughter wants to get out of the house. Like nobody wants you to be where you are.
No, and she doesn't want to be there either. It's just once you're pushed into an awkward position, procrastination is always easier, right?
For sure. And
Yeah.
that, yeah, I don't even know if it's procrastinationation. I think she's an avoider. Right?
Yeah, avoidance.
I think Dawn is the run away from your problems guy and pretend they didn't happen, and she's just the stay and pretend they're not happening, right?
Man, those poor kids.
Yeah, but yeah, right. Your two kids with two parents who both live in denial. Completely different ways of finding their roles in it, but they both live in complete denial of their situation.
I would watch therapists react to Mad Men.
Oh, that would be great.
That'd be an amazing channel.
It would be.
Out there. You guys make a lot of money doing it.
You're right. Yeah, I'm sure there are like essays written about what is wrong with this psychologically with these characters.
I'd like to read them. Put them on a page.
Yeah, right. We do want to welcome some new Patreon subscribers for the last few days, guys. Jay Searzak, Camden Halley, and Link Sausage 71. Thanks, guys, and welcome. We appreciate you being here with us.
We sure do. If you guys are watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel.
Hello.
If you don't mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the new content we've coming your way.
Absolutely. If you'd like to see the full reaction to this and everything else we're watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. We're about 5 episodes ahead over on Patreon on Mad Men, so if you want to get ahead as well, see our entire full-length reactions and watch the whole thing with us, by all means, feel free to join.
Look, Pete, we're going to have to resign the Clearasil account.
Clearasil is worth $1.25 million in billings, and Pond's over $2.
That's a big loss either way.
Throw yourself on the grenade.
For those of you on YouTube who can't see this, we're seeing naked ladies.
Yeah.
Peggy, right? 37th floor?
Oh, I think Peggy's getting checked out.
I think so. Pete's got to swallow his pride from time to time.
I hope Pete says this is not my fault to his father-in-law.
So are you.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Hope you know I've always done my best to make you happy.
I do.
This is already awkward.
I'm going to be a father.
Can you believe it?
Good for you, Pete. That's awesome.
I don't know how I let the cat out of the bag. I thought you knew what I was talking about. What did you
before you
think
tie
I was
one on.
talking about?
Yeah.
What? The agency has to drop Clearasil.
Why?
There's another product that's similar, and we can't,
A conflict.
I invited him there, and this good news trumped my bad news. And the funny thing is, that was the moment to tell him.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, yeah.
We needed him.
And now you don't. He'll be fine. Tomorrow night. Yankee pot roast.
Yeah, tell them together at dinner, like, hey man, just FYI.
It wasn't my idea.
It wasn't my, yeah, you have to say this was not my decision.
As I said, my name is Faye.
It's a never name
I
tag.
have a name tag.
Oh,
They
clever.
forgot about me.
Very cute. Can you imagine? Your financial future's in the hands of a room full of 22-year-old girls.
Oh, Freddie has not
Yeah.
learned anything yet, has he?
I sit at my vanity, and I have this night cream. My boyfriend laughed at me.
What was so funny about it?
You shouldn't do things for them. They don't appreciate it.
You don't think they appreciate you being beautiful?
It's worse when they notice sometimes.
Oh man, this is a
Allison,
therapy session.
Please
Yeah, it is.
continue.
It's nothing.
She's talking about Dawn.
I just kept thinking, why does he stare at other girls?
How the hell did this get so sad so fast?
There's Freddie.
I feel like I gave him everything, and I got nothing.
Oh my god, this is rough.
no.
I think Dawn's feeling appropriately guilty for the first time ever.
He is.
It's okay. She'll be all right.
I feel kind of responsible. Do you mind?
I feel like this is going to get spilled somehow, some way to one of maybe even Peggy right now.
People cry in these things all the time. Grown men. I was in a bunch when I first started working here. I'd say, half the time somebody cries.
I can't even say anything because I know he's right out there, right through the glass.
Oh, wow.
Dawn.
Would you stop it? I realized you must have gone through everything I've gone through.
Oh my god.
But now I know.
Everyone really does assume that Peggy slept with Dawn.
Your problem is not my problem.
Whoa.
Fine.
Wow.
And honestly, you should get over it.
Please leave me alone.
Yeah. Hey, Peggy, you did a really. I know she assumed some things that weren't right, but you did a bad job there.
Yeah, bad job, Peggy.
That went very well.
Did it?
Is she okay? Who?
Yes, she's fine.
Who? Like she didn't even
All right.
notice. There he is.
Hello, fellas.
Good to see you, Kenny.
All right, Ken.
Whom did I supposedly say this to?
Doesn't matter.
Well,
Harry?
I'd like to defend myself.
I heard that you told your wife that I was driving the tractor when the accident happened.
Okay, this actually didn't happen. Yeah.
Crane told me yesterday you said I was marrying for money.
I didn't say that.
He did not say that.
Well, look, you know what? I apologize. Mea culpa. How's it going?
I've been floating along laterally, but I don't know that it's a love affair. It's better than McCann. Look how lucky we are. Another Campbell. That's just what the world needs.
A mistake. And I feel like it's awkward. And it's better for both of us if I move on. I would appreciate it if you could write me a recommendation.
Absolutely. What would probably be even better is if you type up whatever you want and I'll sign it.
He won't even write it for her? Joe's gonna be like, so, which of you girls wants to be a secretary now?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm gonna need a new secretary.
My friend, the photographer, Mr. Reject, he's having a,
Mr.
I don't even
Reject.
know what to call it, downtown.
Are you inviting me?
Starts at 9. I'll be there at 10.
Listen,
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
No, you don't.
You don't,
you need
man.
a bigger apartment. I get it.
No.
every time you jump to conclusions, Tom, you make me respect you less. You gave us
Wow.
Clearasil, and we're extremely grateful. But there's only so much business it's going to do.
Yeah, well, that's
He's
kinda
not
in your
doing
hands,
this
isn't it?
well.
I've done well by you, and the idea was, if we do well by this account, you'll give us a shot at the big one. Because right now, I have bigger business than Clearasil.
Are you mad at me?
He's gonna try to outdo the other account.
Well, what do you want?
Gross.
It-
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, but
I get it.
You son of a bitch.
yeah.
Listen, I'm already high, but this is easier than finding a beer. If you like it.
She
I
does.
love it. Hey, I have a boyfriend. He doesn't own your vagina.
It kind of
No,
does.
but he's renting it.
I was writing her a letter.
Oh, he's apologizing to her.
And maybe not make it about you.
Yeah. It definitely don't rationalize.
This is Peggy Olson. She wanted to meet you.
I'm Catholic.
So you like it?
I don't think I'm supposed to. I love your news.
Oh, that's a great
We're
answer.
I work at Sterling Cooper Draper Price. Advertising.
This is
Why
where
would
the
I ever do that?
yeah, exactly. I'm
You
a
get
real
paid to
artist. It's
practice
definitely gonna be
your
a
art.
thing. Yeah.
Sorry, for
Great
somebody
point.
to sell their soul, they've got to have one.
That's actually nice of me to like step in there.
Is Peggy about to get a new boyfriend? Yeah, I think so.
People?
I took the film.
I should see this. It could be a story. How can I find you?
I know where she is.
I'd like to say in front of this informal partners meeting that I'm in the midst of signing Vic's Chemical, the entire cough line. Bills at around $6 million, and they love television.
There you go. He just won.
Spectacular news.
Congratulations.
Yes. $6 million account should shut laying up for a while.
Oh my god.
No, I mean about the baby.
Oh yeah, that.
I just wanted to let you know how happy I am for you. Both.
Thank you.
I love how aware of this he is. What group's
All
there?
right. And neither one of them is happy. The life she
Yeah.
could have had, right?
Right.
Oh man.
That was such a great episode, man.
I know, because it was mostly the whole time, right?
Right.
And then like you have like the very strong images at the end, right? Of
Oh, yeah.
Pete and Peggy staring at each other and like having that final send off, essentially, right?
For sure.
I feel like that's the last time we're really going to address their relationship.
I think you're right. I think the door's closed on, like, not obviously the door's been closed in their relationship forever, but now it's closed on even talking about it.
Yeah.
I think even like that was it. There's our that was closure right there.
It's almost like they talked about it without talking about it, right?
That was a closure.
Him
moment.
sitting up off the couch
Right.
and being like, "Yeah, it's a big deal," you know?
Yeah, it's a big deal. I'm having a baby. She's her going in and not really meeting it, but saying, "Congratulations, I'm happy for you." That's they finally got closure after 4 seasons.
It's
on that. That was a season premiere moment.
Yeah,
or a series premiere moment. Yeah,
it's kind of understated on how she gave birth in the first. That was like one of the craziest plot twists.
Yes, at the end of the first season, when she actually had the baby.
Any show, you know, because they had her in the fat makeup and like the suit and stuff. You know,
we were wondering why.
Yeah,
like why are they having? Why
it didn't look real? Like it looked fake,
no,
right?
it was it was definitely prosthetics, but we were wondering like, what's the angle with having Peggy put on weight? You know, like why make that choice?
And then to have that be the reveal is I still think that was incredible.
It was. You know what? I didn't see it coming at all, despite all the weight gain. I don't think I ever considered the fact that she might have been pregnant.
I didn't either,
because of course she didn't either. That
I thought it was like a symbolizing stress or something, but
sure,
it's not the case,
right?
But no, like having this however many years later, 2-3 years later, it's really something, you know. I mean, that's
how well written the show is, man. They play the long game. It's a satisfying payoff. Yeah, absolutely. It's like we're gonna have this moment that happens, throughout the first season a little bit, and we're not going to actually find closure for it until halfway through season 4.
Yeah,
that's a heck of a thing when it comes to the right, as Pete would say, like a thing like that.
A thing like that. Yeah. I liked how he strong-armed his dad, or as a father-in-law there too.
Did not see that coming either.
I like Pete's father-in-law. I've always liked him. He's always been a really nice guy, but you have to play that game, I guess. At first, I was like, Pete, you're being a little harsh there.
I think that was more about Pete defeating Lane than anything else. It was like Lane is whipping Pete into going and doing this thing he doesn't want to do.
Yeah,
and Pete just like, you know what?
I'm a partner here.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna flip this completely.
Yeah.
To where the upper hand slides more to Pete.
And also, how much is Lucky Strike worth? $9 million?
No, it was way more than that.
It was way more than that.
I mean, 71% of the VIX is going to be 6 million.
Yeah.
And Lucky Strike's got to be 30-40 million.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it was in the 20s, wasn't it? When they
was it 20? Okay.
Yeah, it was like 27 million when they were talking about splitting up the company.
I just thought, like I said, it's Hail Mary time, right?
For sure.
Because Lee, the last few episodes, I've mentioned how insufferable Lee has been, and we've seen how insufferable he's been this season.
The Christmas thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. So the fact that they're actively making moves here and getting more clients, they're not out of the doghouse yet, but they need clients because Lee is the worst.
Lee's the worst, and they're not going to fire Lee. You don't
have to drop him.
Yeah, they're not going to drop him. You're not going to drop a guy worth tens of millions of dollars to your business,
but you make yourself comfortable.
But you build a safety net, and the safety net has to be that when Lee blows this up, and I find Lee to be
detestable.
Well, he's a lot like we were talking kind of about Rupert on Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
he's somebody who likes being able to toy with people.
I would argue
they have no way to toy back. Yeah, I think so.
Lee's worse.
Lee treats Roger like crap, not because he doesn't like Roger, but because he knows Roger needs his money. So
and even
if
he got what he wanted, the camera that episode. Right. He still had to find a way to rub it in.
He still had to make it awful,
and let alone get Salvatore fired.
Yeah,
that's somebody's livelihood.
Yeah. No, Lee's detestable. Then that was a bad moment for Don too. I didn't think we'd see Salvatore again, and it looks like we're not going to. At least not this season.
We'd have seen it by now.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think too. Yeah. I think with the agency move and everything, if they were going to bring him back, they would have. There's a percent chance that maybe they do lose Lucky Strike at some point, and then maybe Sal comes back. But I don't think so. I think he's gone. I think he's gone. I think Paul's gone because Paul should be.
Ken again?
Yeah. I don't know if he ever works at the agency, but I think having Ken out there is good.
Yeah, because he was the one character from the changeover.
Right.
That we were like, no.
He was, right.
Ken?
Yeah.
Come on.
He was.
Also, who was driving the tractor? I can't remember. It was one of the secretaries.
It was one of the secretaries.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But he's the one who brought the tractor in.
He did.
And
he did
he's
that,
I mean, it really was mostly his fault. He wasn't the one who put the girl on the tractor. One of the other guys did. Mm-hmm. But it was his fault. There was a freaking lawnmower with a working blade driving around the office. The most predictable problem ever happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a nuts episode.
Just seeing all the guys with their shirts getting sprayed with blood.
It was hilarious.
It shouldn't have been, but you know what? They even treated it like this is actually funny. Like they made it a punchline of a joke.
The sad thing was
guy lost his job.
He lost his job.
He lost his foot. He lost his job, and it shouldn't be funny.
But it was pretty funny.
But I mean, yeah, wasn't it like a guy walks into an advertising agency was the name of the episode? So like they set it up as a punchline.
They did.
This is going to be funny, and it shouldn't be, but it is.
Just like this episode. This episode was very funny, and it really shouldn't have been. Like she throws the cigarette, the ashtray at him, and then I'm gonna need a new secretary.
Right.
Great. It felt like a joke. Like that felt like a sitcom moment.
Totally was. I will say this though. Dawn is in the dumps and has been all season. Mm-hmm. I feel like this was Peggy's episode, really. I feel like Peggy's having to face some things. She was horrible to the secretary, right?
Yeah.
For who made a very innocent mistake, or assumption, and was horrible to her while she was hurt. To where the girl just had to say, just leave me alone.
I think she's mad about that. I think she's mad people think that her and Don are a thing.
Right. So now she's out, looking away from both the job and her boyfriend for something else.
Well, anyways, her and Don do have secrets.
I gotta say, they have a lot in common. Peggy and Don have a lot in common.
In many ways, she's his protege.
Yeah. Really is, more than just work. Don's the one who did give her the opportunity to be a copywriter. He's the one who promoted her. And no one else was going to. Freddie thought it was nuts. But
of course Freddie did. Freddie's
a dinosaur. He is. He's way out of touch.
I know what he says is terrible,
right?
But it cracks me up, man. It's like who invited Grandpa to dinner? Yeah, I mean, it's so funny.
It's the '60s, right? It's the sexual revolution. Yep. But Freddie is a guy who was still stuck more than anybody else on the show in the 1940s.
He's a decade away from being Gene.
Yeah, he really is. But yeah, this is Peggy's the one who's lost and looking for something else, which is what we've exclusively gotten from Dawn, really. That's been Dawn's arc is no matter what I have, no matter what I get, I'm not happy. That's Peggy. As Peggy gets more successful, Peggy's realizing the less happy she is. I'm not happy with my life. Even though I'm getting more successful, I got to go out and find something else. Yeah. It's not an accident that in season 1, Dawn was getting high and partying with beatniks. Yeah. And in season 4, Peggy is getting high and partying with beatniks.
In many ways, the show is about aging, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? he's getting older. And I love that last shot of the old couple.
Right.
And Don just kind of watching and then shutting himself
realizing he doesn't have that.
No.
He doesn't have
anybody.
He doesn't have anyone that's coming home to him.
Yeah.
Which we kind of had there. Even though it wasn't like a happy moment for that couple, which is kind of great. It was like it's a mundane moment, but even the mundane he doesn't have.
But also it also symbolizes that he's isolating himself.
Sure.
Like he's alone. Like the camera did not follow him inside.
Nope.
He's hidden away. He's in his office by himself.
Yeah, that office, the wide shot in his office where he looks so small and alone in there. Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't think that's going to be the case. Well, it might be the case the rest of the show. I mean, he's a lonely guy who, I don't know. His relationship prospects are not looking great right now. I'm not saying he has to be in a relationship, but I think he's going to tank.
But he feels like he does.
Yeah, he tanks every relationship.
Yeah, he does. Had. But he definitely feels like he can't be alone.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I don't think anybody has to be in a relationship, but I think the character Don Draper definitely feels like he needs to.
I don't think that that's the last we see of Allison either. Well, I don't think she'll be working at Sterling Cooper, obviously, but I think that he will reach out and try to make some sort of amends for her.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it would surprise me, right?
It's going to go poorly, but I think he will try because we saw him trying to write the note at the end of the episode.
Yeah, but I thought he was. I thought, okay, we're not done seeing Allison, but then when he threw it on the ground, I'm like, he's not going to even make the effort.
Yeah, maybe not then.
Right. We don't know. We have no idea. But you know, before we wrap up here, we kind of talk about how this is the show, the story of America, right?
Mm-hmm.
The chasing of the American dream that isn't real.
Yeah.
No matter how much you get, the more you feel like you're away from it.
Yeah.
Peggy's starting to get there.
Yeah.
Peggy's got the promotion and the good job and the boyfriend who dotes on her, and she should be feeling happy, and the target's moving farther and farther away from her.
I think she's trying now. Her hanging out with this group of people is kind of like her embracing her youth and what the youth was at that time.
Maybe. But one, she's not as young as those people, I don't think. And two,
I don't know. She's younger.
Sure. I mean, she's younger than like Dawn, but she's the same age as Pete and all those guys.
Sure.
So we're a little bit older than the 20-year-olds that she's hanging out with. But
either way, she's an outsider on both sides.
But Dawn was hanging out with beatniks too. And
Yeah, but that was
it
more
didn't do
like
anything for him.
that was more him like visiting. You know what I mean? Like he was
Sure.
wearing a suit. Like Peggy actually dresses up and participates.
Oh, right.
Don doesn't participate. Don
Right.
just kind of observes, and
Yeah.
he's like, "I'm just here visiting," basically.
Right.
Whereas Peggy's like actually dipping her toes in it and seeing what this counterculture is really like. You know?
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, and the show's kind of about that, right? Because you even kind of got that with Paul and his girlfriend.
Right.
You know, it's
his was definitely more performative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Peggy's very, very much an interesting position here on the show. I want to see where her story is.
Yeah, she's definitely on her own journey, and there's no way of knowing how this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the run of the show, she's basically Dawn. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't be either,
you know,
honestly.
by the time it's all said and done,
somehow the
7 seasons
fall
in,
apart, and she's going to be, you know, ad man. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Ad-woman.
Like she's
all
like
about her job.
100% like I can't really maintain personal relationships. I'm all about my job. I would not be surprised if they do that at all.
Dawn 2.0.
Right? All right, we'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.